Well, that's beautiful. Joining us right now is Amy Kremer. She's with America First Women, and according to her Twitter, she is out of Roswell, Georgia. Go Dogs. Amy, welcome to the program. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, go Dogs, right?
Exactly. So, my goodness, do you think? Well, first of all, these promises that were made, because we have, Ralph Norman, Jeff Duncan here in South Carolina, Nancy Mays, Timmons, all of these people voting for McCarthy, and he's making a lot of promises, but you don't think these promises are going to be carried out, do you?
No, and I just learned within the past hour. I do not want McCarthy. I think it's going to be the same thing over again. He was there with Boehner, Paul Ryan,
Yeah.
and we need fresh leadership. And it's not just McCarthy; it's the leadership team. Steve Scalise. I mean, it's the same thing. Back in 2013, Steve Scalise took over the Republican Study Committee, which is the largest conservative caucus in the Republican conference. And Steve Scalise kicked out all the conservatives that had been running that under Tom Price and others for years. So, and it then became, leadership had influence on it. And then a year later, you had the Freedom Caucus born. But I digress. Anyway, no, we just learned an hour ago that this rules package that they have supposedly agreed on has to be voted on by the entire House. Well, the Democrats aren't going to vote for it.
Right.
And the moderates and especially the establishment, as Steve Bannon calls them, the cartel, they hate the conservatives. I mean, they hate what they've done over the past 3 days. And so they're not going to vote for this rules package because it's not what they want. Well, by that time, they have no leverage. If it's voted down in the House, they have no leverage because McCarthy has already been elected Speaker. And I mean, I am just sitting here thinking they are being played again. And I mean, they go back in tonight at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So I would say your Congressman Norman, I would say get on the phone, call him, tweet him, text him, however you can reach him, and ask him to please implore him to flip his vote because they're being played.
They are being played, and it's like a fiddle. So none of these things. I mean, he could promise them the moon right now,
right?
And he doesn't have to deliver. You know what I haven't heard? We're talking with Amy Kremer, chairman of America First Women. I haven't heard anybody give me one redeeming quality about Kevin McCarthy and why he should be Speaker of the House, other than he's worked really hard for it.
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that he's worked really hard for it. No, he hasn't. As a founder of the modern day Tea Party back in 2009, I can tell you that we had more access to John Boehner than we do Kevin McCarthy. John Boehner at least recognized the Tea Party movement. He had a coalitions director that worked with us. They would listen to us. They may not have done what we wanted, but they at least listened to us. We have no access to McCarthy. You know who has access to McCarthy is Jeff Miller, who is one of the number one lobbyists in D.C. that represents all of big tech. And on Monday night, guess where he was between 10 and 11 o'clock? He was going into the speaker suite that McCarthy had already moved into. I mean, so Jeff Miller, a lobbyist, has more access to McCarthy than the grassroots, the MAGA movement has. And I just think that's wrong. And this is the other thing. Look, this guy has sold his soul for this seat. He has caved to everything. Do you think he's really going to go in and negotiate with Biden and Schumer and stand up for us? Hell no, he's not going to. He absolutely is not going to. And all these things he's agreeing to do, when has he ever once stood up for the civil liberties being violated of the January 6th political prisoners? I don't care if they're guilty or innocent. They are American citizens, and this is the United States of America. He's never said one word. When Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney were put on the January 6th committee, he should have stripped them of their committee assignments. Did he do that? Hell no, he didn't do that. Has he ever held a press conference after any January 6th committee hearing and pushed back on their bull crap that they were pushing? No, he's never done that. And guess what? Now the DOJ is going after everybody. I'm under subpoena from the DOJ because Women for America First is the one that held the rally at the Ellipse on January 6th. We didn't go to the Capitol. We didn't tell anybody to go to the Capitol. And not only am I under subpoena by the DOJ, but also the Department of Interior. We had a legal rally there that was permitted by the National Park Service. Now we're political enemies of Biden and the Democrats.
Wow.
And guess what? When I want to know because we've already had the FBI show up to serve us subpoenas. So I want to know when my daughter and I go to jail, is Kevin McCarthy going to be out there to defend me? Hell no, he's not going to. I mean, it is absurd. This guy has never done anything for Matt. He was working behind the scenes to take down Trump. I mean, it is insane that these congressmen and congresswomen are even considering this. I mean, quite honestly, I'm upset that there's not more than 20 of them.
Yeah, I'm upset that the 200 are voting for him. So what is it about the conservatives that folks like Kevin McCarthy despise so much?
Because all he cares about, the reason he's never stood up for any of those things that I just talked about is because nothing is going to come for him out of that. No money is going to go into his pockets or his campaign coffers, right? That is all he cares about are these lobbyists. He is a swamp monster. He has dealt with big business and the lobbyists his entire career. That's what he does. Well, guess what? We don't need somebody that's the greatest fundraiser. We need a leader, And so his fundraising abilities, that's great. You know what? Elect Jim Jordan as speaker, and then Jim Jordan can hire Kevin McCarthy as a fundraiser. I mean,
exactly right. I mean, and you look at what Mitch McConnell did over in the Senate, where he was withholding funds from people that he thought weren't going to vote for him to be Senate minority leader, certainly not Senate majority leader. Georgia, over there in Georgia, where you are, Democrats outspent Republicans by $100 million to get Raphael Warnock elected. There is serious failure at the top, isn't there?
Oh, there's absolutely serious failure. And that's the thing. Kevin McCarthy has fought harder for the speaker's gavel than he fought against that $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. He didn't even fight for a continuing CR. He didn't do. He said, he went along with it. He met in the Roosevelt room with Biden and Schumer, and they all come out and McConnell, and we're going to pass this, whatever. I mean, do you really trust this guy? And the thing is, they keep saying two of the concessions one is the motion to vacate, that it only takes one person for the motion to vacate. Well, guess what? So one person files the motion to vacate, then they have to vote on removing him. They're not going to get the votes to remove him. And then the other thing is the Congressional Leadership Fund, which was his PAC that went and played in all these primaries, right, and defeated our MAGA candidate.
Yep.
So that's another bone of contention. So he's agreed he will not do that next time. Well, come on. Do you really think that he's not going to redirect that money somewhere else and have somebody else go do it? They'll go and start other PACs or other organizations. Sure. I mean, it happens every single time. We're not stupid. We can see it. And this guy has lied. So that's the thing is, honestly, this comes down to trust. We don't trust him.
No, I don't trust him either. And I'll tell you what, every member of our South Carolina of the House of Representatives from South Carolina should listen to this interview with you about everything that you just said is 100% true. They're being played and they're going to be stabbed. They might as well go ahead and turn their faces to the walls because they're going to get stabbed in the back. How long do you think it's going to be before I gave them 90 days? I was being very generous before Kevin McCarthy becomes an utter disappointment.
I'd probably give him 30 or 60 days.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
This guy he is not one of us. He is there. Have you ever seen somebody in 1998, Republicans won a slim majority with 223 votes. Mm-hmm. And, Speaker Newt Gingrich was up for speaker, and it was such a slim majority that he stepped to the side because of the slim majority against him. He stepped to the side for the good of the country. This guy is standing there and saying, "I'm not going anywhere." It's like, who can blink first? This is what I'll say. I pray to God that Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Matt Rosendale, Eli Crane, and who's the other one? There's one more. I pray that the six that are standing firm do not cave, because we need them now more than ever.
Absolutely.
It's Bob Good out of
Yep.
Virginia. Bob Good out of Virginia said, he's told the media, don't ask me again if I'm voting for Kevin McCarthy. The answer is no. I will never vote for Kevin McCarthy.
Amy Kremer, Chair of America First Women, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. We know it was last minute, but thank you for the call.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. We'll talk soon.